The last warning from Russia. On September 25, Russian President Vladimir Putin held a meeting of the Standing Conference of the Security Council of the Russian Federation on nuclear deterrence, where he announced a number of clarifications to the document relating to the procedure for the use of nuclear weapons. Hereby, I will quote the entire text of the head of state's speech.
Добрый день, уважаемые коллеги. Мы с вами проводим сегодня плановые мероприятия.
Today, we are holding a scheduled event. The meeting is called the Permanent Conference on Nuclear Deterrence. It is held twice a year. And on today's agenda, we have an issue related to updating the fundamentals of state policy in the field of nuclear deterrence. Along with the military doctrine, this is a document that officially defines and details Russia's nuclear strategy. First of all, it establishes the basic principle of using nuclear weapons, namely, the use of nuclear forces is an extreme measure to protect the country's sovereignty. I would like to emphasize that we have always approached such issues with the utmost responsibility. Being well aware of the colossal power of these weapons, we have sought to strengthen the international legal basis for global stability and prevent the spread of nuclear weapons and their components. Today, the nuclear triad remains the most important guarantee of the security of our state and citizens, an instrument for maintaining strategic parity and the balance of power in the world. At the same time, we see that the modern military-political situation is changing dynamically, and we are obliged to take this into account, including the emergence of new sources of military threats and risks for Russia and our allies. It is important to predict the development of the situation and accordingly adapt the provisions of the strategic planning document to current realities. The draft nuclear doctrine expands the category of states and military alliances against which nuclear deterrence is carried out. Over the past year, specialists from the Ministry of Defense, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the Security Council apparatus, and other departments have conducted a deep, comprehensive analysis and assessed the need to adjust our approaches to the possible use of nuclear forces. Based on the results of this work, it has been proposed to make a number of clarifications in terms of defining the conditions for the use of nuclear weapons. Thus, the draft principles expand the category of states and military alliances in relation to which nuclear deterrence is carried out, and supplement the list of military threats for the neutralization of which nuclear deterrence measures are carried out. What else I would like to draw your attention to is that in the updated version of the document, aggression against Russia by any non-nuclear state, but with the participation or support of a nuclear state, is proposed to be considered as their joint attack on the Russian Federation. The conditions for Russia's transition to the use of nuclear weapons are also clearly fixed. We will consider this possibility upon receipt of reliable information about a massive launch of air and space attack weapons and the crossing of our state border. I mean strategic and tactical aircraft, cruise missiles, drones, hypersonic and other aircraft. We reserve the right to use nuclear weapons in case of aggression against Russia and Belarus as a member of the Union state. All these issues have been agreed upon with the Belarusian side with the President of Belarus, including if the enemy, using conventional weapons, creates a critical threat to our sovereignty. In conclusion, I would like to note that all clarifications are deeply verified and proportionate to modern military threats and risks in relation to the Russian Federation.